So why do you get angry? It's not because you have a bad personality, or because it's too hot outside, or even because the other person is too fierce. It's actually because the situation didn't meet your expectations. For example, you hoped that he would apologize to me. You got angry because he didn't apologize. You hope that the child will do his homework properly and not run around everywhere. When he doesn't meet your expectations, you get angry. You also hope to buy a nice dress at a cheaper price. And when that doesn't happen, you get upset too. So what do you think we should do about it? In fact, change is always present. Only by accepting change and adapting to it while finding a balance amidst all the uncertainties can you maintain a state of not being sad, angry, or overwhelmed. Balance comes from guarding our hearts. This book suggests keep distance, avoid anger, no excuses, don't rush, and avoid comparisons, prevent anger. Start with a calm heart. When calm, anger fades. How do we guard our hearts? This book offers 5 tips. Keep distance from the world, avoid anger, don't make excuses, don't rush, and don't compare yourself to others. You might wonder where to start. A calm heart prevents anger. The book suggests distancing brings peace. I've tried it, and it works. Less information intake reduces chaos and anger. So ultimately, the goal is to help you not get angry. You might think that sounds a bit vague. Where do we start with guarding our hearts? We've heard a term called calm and peaceful heart. When your heart is calm, you won't get angry. How can we achieve a calm heart? The book suggests distancing yourself to find peace. I've tried it and it works. What does distancing mean? More information leads to a chaotic mind and anger. You might start upset with one person, but then notice surrounding voices getting louder and you lose control. What can you do? Recognize, I'm Lilay and I can't control myself. Then you might start off upset with one person, but then notice surrounding voices getting louder, making you angrier, losing control. Recognize your emotions and step back. I'll just put it, Lilay pulls himself out of this body, stands a bit farther away, and looks from a higher perspective. So what does the person next to me look like? What does their voice sound like? What are they wearing? By distancing yourself and shifting your focus, you might realize the situation isn't as urgent or infuriating as it seemed.
You can give it a try. The second important method is to maintain a peaceful mind. Keeping a peaceful mind is an incredible thing. But the human brain doesn't think this way when it is factory set. What is our factory setting? The more comprehensive information we get, the easier it is for us to survive. Right? In primitive society, you knew which patch of grass might have what kind of fierce beasts, where there was a tree to escape to, and where clean water was. That greatly increased your chances of survival. But in modern society, information is growing explosively. If we stick to our default setting and keep acquiring all kinds of information, our minds can easily get lost on a chaotic path. Buddhism calls this kind of disordered mental state affliction. So what can we do to restore our inner peace and keep our mind? This book contains 2 suggestions. The first one is to not take yourself too seriously. The second suggestion is, don't be too hard on yourself and often hold on to anger. Xiaoqilong Zhiji noted that people who anger easily have a low boiling point. Water, boiling at 100 degrees. How can we cultivate such composure? But in high altitude areas, it's different. Water is hard to boil, and it won't even boil at 100 degrees. Some people have a particularly low boiling point, which makes them highly combustible and explosive, just a little spark, and they blow up like a barrel of explosives. There are also some people who can always maintain a calm and composed state. So how can we cultivate that? Please note that people with a very low boiling point have a common characteristic, which is that they are overly sensitive to other people's shortcomings. So no matter whether the other person is intentional or unintentional, if he makes a mistake, people with a low boiling point will think that he did it on purpose. They must be punished. But if we take a moment to think calmly, everyone is born with flaws and shortcomings. If someone makes a mistake without intending to, then it's just something that happens. Instead of holding on to anger, it's better to choose to forgive the other person. Ultimately, the most important thing is to let go of ourselves. So, how can we avoid getting angry and be happier? The answer is actually just 6 words. Slow down, don't rush. So after discussing all this, maybe you can apply these methods right away. Or perhaps you feel there are some things we can't do just yet. What should we do then? Again, just slow down. Don't rush. Take it step by step to relax your mind and calm down, slowly finding your inner peace. As long as you make a little progress each day, reward yourself.